Hi, thank you so much for joining us. Today we've got a very special author. Her name is Pat Mann. And Pat is very familiar with biblical teaching, and she's made this thing called Bible Lessons on Short Notice, which I think is just so incredibly amazing because how many times Bible teachers or Sunday school teachers will cancel at the last second. Pat, you can just give this book to a substitute and they can step right in. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad that you're here too. Talk to me about the main message of this book. What is the reason that you wrote this?
Well, all the books that I write have two goals. One is evangelism, to point people to Jesus Christ for salvation and
Mhm.
forgiveness of sins. And the second goal is for those who are believers, they can grow as Christians. They can become mature Christians. Uh, those two goals would be why I write anything.
And this book specifically came in a time of need, right? When you were heading up Bible studies and Sunday schools and people would cancel. And then what do you do? Talk to
Yes,
me about that.
yes, I was the education director in a church, and occasionally a teacher would call in and say, on Sunday morning, and say they
Right.
can't be there, they have a sick child. So I just have to grab somebody and say, go in there and, do something, read hymn lyrics or something. And that's not good. And I've always written my own Bible lessons. So I had a multitude of lessons on my computer. So I decided to take 52 of those lessons and reformat them to be teacher friendly so that teachers could follow the prompts and teach a very effective lesson uh, without any preparation or no experience.
Now, what grade is this for? What if it's a first grade or a high school class? Does it help for all?
I would say most classes, but I think especially fifth grade through senior adult.
Hmm.
Um, I think teachers of younger children would need a lot of props and things like that.
Sure, sure. That's a good point. Yeah, I think about how necessity is the mother of invention, how you had real life situation problems you had to solve and you took care of it. And look at what you produced. I mean, this beautiful book now
Yes.
that's not just available for teachers who call out last second, but it's you got a 52, you got a full year of teaching for Sunday school class.
I'm sorry.
Oh, so you've got a full year of teaching for Sunday school class. So that's wonderful.
Oh,
So,
yes,
yeah.
yes. And some classes use it for their year-long curriculum.
Yeah, absolutely. What, if you had to say what the main theme was of your teaching in this book, is there one particular book that you focus on from the Bible, or are you pulling from old and new? What type of teachings is it?
I try to pull from all of it.
Mhm.
All there's not any book of the Bible that's not important.
Right.
So the lessons I've written down through the years that were on my computer come from all parts of the Bible.
Mm.
So I don't try to pick on one book
Right, right,
or
right,
one
right.
group of books, but just the whole Bible is important.
Yes. I'm sure that some books are a little bit easier to write on, and to be relatable with. Leviticus might be a little bit more difficult with all the laws and everything than the book of Psalms, which is all about emotion. Do you have a favorite that you feel like you connect with and that your Sunday school teachers have said, boy, I really like that lesson?
From the teacher-friendly book,
Yeah.
uh, yes, one that I teach a lot is testing at Mara and Elam. Mara is a place where our life is going through something bitter.
Mhm.
Mara means bitter. And the Israelites were at a bitter place. They didn't have water. But uh, when we come to a place like that, our faith is tested. Can we still believe God? Uh, and then the Israelites went
Mhm.
to a place called Elam, and oh my, it was a paradise. They
Mhm.
had palm trees and springs of water, and that's also a testing ground. When people get to that place where life is good, Sometimes they put God on a shelf
Mm.
and they stop going to church and start doing things that are pleasurable in the world. So Mara is a testing of our faith. Elam is a testing of our faithfulness.
Oh, that's so good. Say that again, Pat.
Mara, the bitter place, that's a test of our faith. And when we get to Elam, when everything is great, we often put God on the shelf. It's a test of our faithfulness. Mara,
That is so
a
good.
test of faith. Elam, a test of faithfulness.
Wow. If that's all I take away from this interview, that was profound. That is a handful of wisdom. Um, our pastor this past week was talking about how what he says in the on the mountaintop is the same truth as when we're in the valley. It's just sometimes harder to see, but we have to hang on to that hope and that trust in him. And it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. It takes more determination when you're at Elam to
Yeah.
be faithful to keep your time with God and not abandon uh, meeting together with other believers
Hmm.
and things like that in order to participate in the world pleasures.
I happen to know that you do a lot of ministry in jails and prisons,
Yes.
and you have incorporated this teaching book. You know, in my mind at first when we started, I was thinking Sunday school class and church, but I'm guessing that you have incorporated this into the prison ministry too.
Oh, absolutely. We have other teachers who teach the men and substitutes who will teach the women. And maybe they're inexperienced or they have to do it also on the spur of the moment. And all of them teach from this book
Mm. Wow.
because all the men teachers are inexperienced, but they've been teaching from this book for a couple of years now. And it's just so easy to follow that anybody can do it. I'm all for preparation. I'm
Mm.
not putting that down at all.
Sure.
Sometimes you just don't have time to prepare.
Right.
And so you can pick a lesson out of this book and it will be suitable and you can teach an effective class. In fact, at the jail, a couple of weeks ago, I said, does anybody want to teach the lesson today? And somebody volunteered. So I just
Wow.
gave her my notes and it's incredible how good it comes out. Somebody who's never taught before and didn't have any time to prepare could teach an effective class. And so it's just exceptional how that works.
What do you think that does for somebody's faith and confidence when they're able to take a book and actually be the leader sharing God's word as a teacher and not just as a student?
Well, perhaps some of them will find their calling when they do that. Not everybody will become a teacher. God didn't call everybody to be teachers, but a lot of them do they liked it so much that they want to continue being teachers in years to follow. So that's always wonderful when that happens. That doesn't happen all the time, but
You're giving them confidence, and I think one of the things that we struggle with is I don't know enough about the Bible. I'm not qualified. Well, really, all of us, none of us know exactly everything we need to know about the Bible, but what you're giving is confidence for a very intimidating opportunity. And you're not just changing the lives of the people they're teaching. I am so struck by the change that you can make with the people leading for the first time.
yes, just can tell them they can do it, and this is going to make it easy to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And so it's a good start for any teachers.
Yeah.
Start.
So I noticed that each lesson starts with not just scripture, but summary points, applications, questions, things like that. Talk to me about the layout of the book.
Well, it does start with the text
Mhm.
usually,
Mhm.
and then it will say, ask this question, say this, read this, all those
Wow.
prompts that goes with the teacher and instructs them how to do it. There's a Bible quiz at the end. Well, I do have after the lesson, then I have the main points are reviewed,
Mhm.
and then life application questions how does this lesson apply to my life?
Oh, Pat, that's so good. Because I think there are so many times we can read in the Bible and we're like, I don't relate to this at all with tenths and kings and, but to
Yeah,
be able to have that application is tremendous.
yes, there's always about 4 or 5 application
Mm,
uh, items to present. How does this lesson relate to me and what I'm going through?
mm,
And then after that, we have if they still need more time to fill in, because they're supposed to go for an hour, I have
right.
a Bible quiz they can ask.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, that's kind of fun, and some of them like to do it.
Yes.
They expect to do it, some of them do at the end of class.
Yeah.
And then there's a challenge question. I put out a question there that not a lot of people would know the answer to, and they're supposed to research it during the week and try to find the answer on their own by researching the Bible.
Are you willing to share that question with us, or is that to
Oh,
stay
one,
secret?
let's see, one question might be what, who were the women who helped the Israelites when they were having babies, helped to hide them so they
Oh,
wouldn't be killed by the Egyptians? There was
oh,
2 women
oh.
who did that, and
Woo!
they weren't afraid of Pharaoh because they were going to kill all the male babies, and they
Right.
would help deliver the babies and try to hide them from being killed. Who were those 2 women?
All right, so we'll leave the answer for all of us to have to research if we don't know the answer to that.
Oh
We'll come
no, I
back to
can't tell you.
I know, you can't tell us. Okay. Pat, I'm
It
thinking,
would be an Exodus.
okay, excellent. That's good to know. I'm thinking not only my mind is just expanding now on opportunities to be able to use this book. We've talked about church, Sunday school class, kind of the obvious, kind of stretching a little bit with creative thoughts of prison and jails. What about hospice and nursing homes and things like that? Like, have you seen this
Oh,
used in different places?
twice a week I go to nursing homes
Wow.
and have chapel services. And that's a perfect book for that. And, sometimes people want a copy of that book.
Sure.
And yeah, the nursing home is a good place to do that, as well as the jail. Youth group meetings,
Mhm,
campfire meetings.
mhm,
Uh, I travel with a group on the bus, and we use a shorter version of these lessons, the 100 devotionals. Uh, and we have a devotional every morning on the bus before we go
mm,
on our trips.
mm,
So almost any kind of situation. And some people just want it individually for
mhm.
themselves. They
I
want
could
to
see
know,
that.
they want to know
Absolutely.
more.
Yeah.
And so they will use this book for that. And a man just got one who's going to be teaching at the jail, and his wife is practicing teaching the lessons to him.
Oh,
So anyway, they can do it.
that's
Anybody
wonderful.
who's never done it before can do it. So,
Tell me someone who's used your book in an unexpected way. Someone that took you by surprise. You go, really? That's really cool.
well, one of the women in the jail transferred to prison. She was going to be in prison she had a life sentence actually.
Oh,
And she became actually a Christian while she was in county jail. But she wanted to teach Bible lessons there at the prison. And so she asked me to send her a copy of the book, and I did. And so she uses that in the in the prison. Jail and prison are different. um, but went to prison for life, and she used that book to teach Bible classes there at the jail. So she had no experience either,
yeah.
but she had plenty of experience by the time a year or 2 had passed.
That's amazing. I think about the opportunities. A lot of these opportunities are coming when they're in the valley, prison, nursing homes, when things are hard. But that's when our hearts are most open to hear this. So
Yes.
what a beautiful thing that you're putting in the hands of people.
Yeah, and some people want to be Sunday school teachers and
Mhm.
they're new at it. And so they will start with this book. And
Mm.
the per lesson, it only costs like a dollar. It's less than $1.50 per lesson, so
Wow.
it's probably cheaper to do that than to buy Sunday school books for
Sure.
everybody.
Sure. Absolutely. Um, so we are coming up on the holidays. We're just doing this interview in November. Um, I think that our hearts are a little bit more tender around holidays, around Easter. Um, do you have anything that you include for those seasons in your book?
I'm sorry, do I have
Yeah, for seasons. Do you have anything seasonal with holidays or Easter
not
incorporated in this?
specifically, but the teacher-friendly book does have lessons for Easter, Thanksgiving, and
Oh,
Christmas. They're all located in the back of the book. And you know
wow.
what? I tell people who are going to use that book a lot, take it down to the office supply and have them cut the binder off and punch holes in it to put
Oh,
it in a three-ring notebook binder so they can take the pages out and they don't have to carry a heavy book around when they're going to teach a 1 hour class.
that's so
So,
good. I don't think there's many authors that would say, take it down and cut my book up, but
yes.
you've got a good reason for that. So that's wonderful. When you were writing this, was there one particular, and I'm sure there's many lessons that stand out to you and that God prompted you to write at the time, but tell me a story about one that really made a big difference for you.
Well, the one that I told you about, the testing at Mara and
Mm,
Elam, um, one of the ladies who was in the jail after she got out of jail, occasionally when she would talk to me, she would say, I'm having an Elam day today, or I'm
mm,
having a Mara day today. So she identified with that very much because she had a lot of Maras and a lot of Elams in her life. And so she would mention that to me almost
mm,
every time we would talk together. I like to talk to those who have been released from jail and see if they're still studying, if they're still uh, searching.
mm. Pat, you are such an inspiration to me because for several reasons, but I just think about your prison ministry and how scary and intimidating that could be. And I want you to share, give us a word of encouragement to share our faith, whether it's with family at Thanksgiving at the table, walking into a prison, teaching Sunday school for the first time. There's a lot of times that we can be scared and intimidated. What word of encouragement would you give to people?
The first time I went to the jail, I was nervous. And in fact, another pastor went with me for the first time. And I said, what if they don't like me? And what if they ask questions that I can't answer? A lot of what ifs.
What if? Yeah.
And so anyway, she went with me that first time. And these people are so eager to know things. They do ask questions and they want to know things. And when I, just after that one time, and I walked out to my car and I kind of floated out to my car,
Oh, that's
I thought this
wonderful.
is so wonderful. I don't,
Yeah.
and in the jail, you don't have age groups that meet together. You
Mhm.
have all kinds of colors and ages and shapes.
Gee, that sounds like heaven to me, doesn't it?
Yes,
Where we're all
yes, it does.
together. Yes.
But after that first time, and I think if somebody does it one time, they'll
Mhm,
they'll either love it or they know that's not for them, you
mhm,
know. But I
mhm,
loved it and I thought this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. And so you just do it one time and see
mhm.
how you feel about it. And
Yeah,
and don't go by feelings. If the Lord is prompting you to do this, then you do it.
yeah.
Overcome your fear. Just do it afraid. I think Joyce
Mhm.
Meyer says, do it afraid.
Oh,
And,
that's so,
we used to
so
have church
wonderful.
visitation and we would go out and knock on doors actually. And I remember going up to doors and I would say, knock on the door and I would say, Lord, please don't let anyone be home. but then there is somebody home, and so
Mhm.
you do your thing, and then when you leave, you're so glad you
Yeah.
went.
Yeah.
So glad you went.
Well,
So
it's stretching that muscle, that
yes,
courage muscle. You've got to use it to be able to stretch it.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
That's so good. And I'm sure that your prayer is that people take these lessons and apply them to their life so that it becomes a very real part of who they are and that they're thinking about these lessons as they are deciding what words to speak, what actions to take, the way that they're thinking. That's probably the application that you're praying is happening, right?
Yes, that's intended to do that.
Mhm,
They're intended to do that, to give people, help them help them know how to read the Bible and how
mhm,
to apply it to their lives and how to ask the right questions. And some of those questions are questions that you ask yourself. You
mhm,
know, have I ever been in a situation like this? And you'll see, well, yes. And if once you have it in your brain and in your heart, as you face your life, a lot of those will come to you and
mhm.
say, this is an example of what that Bible lesson said.
Wow.
And then they have guidance they need to handle that situation, whatever it is. Could
Yeah.
be any number of things. But
Pat, we've got to start to bring this interview to a close, but do you have any final thoughts that you want to share?
I'm sorry.
Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share before we end the interview?
Don't stop reading them, even if you're not loving it. Eventually you will, and you will love it when you can see things happening in your life that relates to what the Bible says.
Mm,
And then you love it that you knew about that because you read about it, you studied it, and you see that it does apply to you.
yeah.
Does apply to you. So don't stop reading it just because you're not loving it. Keep on
Keep
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 on
keeping on.
keep on doing it.
Yeah. I love it. Pat, thank you so much. You can get the book on Amazon or just Google it. You'll be able to find it. If you're watching the video, we've got the website and where it's available right there. So thank you, Pat. I always enjoy speaking with you. Thank you for the inspiration and the love that you share. I mean, you just exude love and joy. So thank you.
And you stay in touch.
I
You
will.
don't have to have a reason to call.
Sounds good. I like that. Thank you. God
Uh-huh.
bless you, Pat. Bye
You
now.
too. You too.